Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, amazing viewers. I'm so blessed to be here. I'm so blessed you found me. If you're returning to this channel, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be doing your reading again. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. We're doing a reading looking at healing and what it is exactly that might be getting you stuck in regards to a specific connection or potentially a specific circumstance that you have going on with someone, and looking at your perspective or what's going on with your energy. And then we'll be looking at the person or the situation on the flip side that you're dealing with here, okay? So it's intended to be coming from another person's point of view or perspective, or energetically where the hang up is or the blocks. So you can use that into context, whatever reason you're here, okay? But like I said, it will be kind of a you versus them, but particularly looking from the aspect of what exactly is the holdup, or what is needing to be looked at or dealt with or healed in order for things to run smoothly in your situation with this person or this connection. Okay, so let's take a look. What we'll do is we'll pull three piles, okay, three options. So first we'll pull one of these cards, which will be shared energy in the connection, and then we'll pull a domino, which will give me an indication of what's going on in the connection energetically between you and this person. Okay, so use your intuition as always, which you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether the pile resonates for you. Only you can do that. You'll either resonate with the left or the right, or the first, I should say the first pile, or the back end of the pile, because I will be doing sort of two separate people. Okay, so you'll see what I mean. Three options. Okay, three options. And we will reveal these shortly. So if at any point you know which option you want to select, I will put the timestamp in the description box and in the pinned comment below. So for option number 1, your connection, we have forgiveness. Number 20, the energy of forgiveness strengthens our capacity to let go of unwanted feelings and emotions. Now I got to tell you something. I haven't seen this card when I pull this deck often. Have not seen it. Interesting, because this is always a message I am delivering here in this channel. Beautiful. Option number 2, you guys have presence with 32. The energy of presence supports our ability to focus our full attention and stay in the here and now. Gorgeous energy. Look at that. We have the light and the dark. And if you're pulled to multiple piles, it could be multiple aspects going on between you and this person. Okay, so if you are drawn to all three, nothing wrong with that. And sometimes there is no message for you, okay, and that's fine as well. Option 3, connection with 14. The frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonance with others, things, and ideas. Wow, all three very different energies. Let me pull a domino. So for option 1, you guys have the domino of 5 and 4. 5 and 4. And for option number 2, you guys have the domino of the blank and the 2. The blank and the 2. And then for option number 3, you guys have the 6 and the 5. 6 and 5. Okay. I will leave the video running for a bit. And let me just get that more in line here. And when you're ready, you can click on the timestamp, and I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, my blessed angels. You guys pick card number 1, pile 1, with forgiveness. This is number 20, and the domino of 5 and 4. So this says the energy of forgiveness strengthens our capacity to let go of unwanted feelings and emotions. So this is something that generally comes through with a lot of my love readings. You know, now this doesn't have to be an intimate partnership, okay, that you're dealing with, but I do feel there is potentially a deep love here, that when we get betrayed, by people we truly deeply love, it becomes a lot more difficult to go through a process of forgiveness because it's impacted us much deeper than someone that, we don't really have too much energy interaction with. Then it might become a little easier to forgive because we're not as deeply impacted by someone's betrayal. So I feel like for this pile, the challenge here is to find forgiveness. Okay. And forgiveness goes in so many different layers. We have to forgive ourselves and not to judge ourselves in order for us to extend forgiveness to others. Okay. So I feel like if there has been a situation here between you and this person where this person, you could flip the energy. Okay. But I'm going to read it this way. I don't know what side you're on. I feel like you're on the side of the person who got betrayed. Okay, we got betrayed by someone here. And so there's always a choice in life. Okay, and the choice is always in front of you, what you're going to do. Are you consciously aware of what your choices are so that you can be in line with the choice rather than just sort of be programmed into a path? Okay, so I feel like this is part of the messaging coming through, is that if we're really conscious and if we're really sitting with ourself and we see the decision in front of us to make active choices in every moment, the one that might be aligned with love, which is corresponding to forgiveness always. Okay, love is forgiveness. And the other could be polarized in the other direction, which is out of fear or lack or whatever sort of more negative energy. Okay, now when I say negative, I'm not talking about good or bad. I'm just saying there's in this universe here that we live in, okay, in the dualistic universe that we live in, the illusion we live in that we call the matrix, there's two polarities. And so we have the positive polarity and the negative polarity. And so this is the way energy works always. There's no exception. Okay, it's either dark or light. It's either masculine or feminine. It's either negatively or positively charged. And so we have a choice here to choose either the positive path or the negative path. Okay, and nothing wrong with either side. It is just going to dictate our experiences. And so if we choose the path of I was going to say duality, but what I mean is separation. Okay, if we pick the path of separation, we are choosing the negative path, the lack. And so we start to feel very removed. And so this becomes our reality, although it isn't reality from a universal sort of objective view. It is a relative perception. And so we experience sadness, lack. Okay, so I feel like there's sadness going on in this connection, and there's separation going on in this connection. And I feel like there's a lesson here of having to look inwards and understand self, know thyself, and do all sorts of shadow work in order for us to be able to extend forgiveness to the other. Okay, so I'm not telling you what you need to do, and I'm not saying that what they did is acceptable or that we need to encourage it, okay, or that you need to like allow this person to treat you in any way that they have. Okay, no. What I'm saying is that this person has done whatever it is that they have done. Okay, and so our only job here, when we're ascending consciousness, when we're connecting from third density, which is all about the egoic self, the matrix self, and we're graduating to the heart space, we learn about forgiveness and we learn about acceptance, to accept everyone and everything where they're at. Okay, they have a journey and they are going through whatever it is that they need to go through. So we extend forgiveness by showing that we accept the fact that that person is where they're at, and so this sort of depolarizes this heavy charged energy of them versus me or separateness. When we infuse something with love, it doesn't sit in that heavy weighted energy that it's been sitting in. So I feel like there's an energy of a push-pull here happening, okay? So 5 is all about challenge, loss, change, and rebuilding. 4 is a stuck energy, okay? It is about stability, but I feel like what I'm seeing here is something really, really stuck and capable of moving because both sides are sort of at a stalemate in their perspectives, okay? And like I mentioned here, perspectives are all true. All perspectives are true. If we lived Hitler's life, for example, exactly as Hitler, all his lives, his energy, we would do exactly as Hitler. And don't think for a second you'd be anything different. Okay, murderers, child molesters, whatever's gone on, their life has dictated their karmas, their set of energy. And so your person, their energy has lined them up to do and be exactly as they are. Okay, so our job here is to understand where this person's at and see where they're at and accept the fact that they're at where they're at. Okay, we can't resist that they're at where they're at. We can't try to put out there that this person needs to be anything other than where they're at. We might want them to be better and want them to come into their full potential. Okay, but that has nothing to do with their divine path here. This only causes suffering and strife for us. So, pile 1. I feel like I deliver this message a lot on this channel. There's a need to forgive here if you want to heal. Okay, when we hold a grudge or pain or anger because someone's done something to us, the only person that suffers is us. You are suffering due to your own sort of energy here, okay? It has nothing to do with, yes, they might have created the initial act, but the suffering and the stalemate here is because of an energy you're carrying. And so you might believe that you are, creating some sort of balance in your life, or you need to hold true to your values or whatever it is that you're telling yourself, okay, your perception. And that's also accurate in a way of your perception. You can hang on to this, but spiritual balancing is all about the body, mind, the 3D matrix, and balancing this with the spiritual perspective, okay? Because we're not the body and mind. So it doesn't mean forget the body, the mind, and say, oh, they didn't hurt me. That's just an illusion. Okay, yes, this person hurt you. Yes, you went through what you went through. So the body is divine. The body is of God. Okay, but you are not the body and you are not the mind. And so the spiritual being in you, I feel, is the one that we need to work on here. Okay, the spiritual being, because that is where we find the heart space. This is where we go within and we're able to forgive self. Because if we cannot forgive or extend this grace or compassion outwards, there's a part of ourself we're not forgiving, accepting, or showing compassion to. So that was a very long message, okay? That might be the only part someone needed to listen to, but let's take a look. So now we have you versus your person, or it doesn't have to be versus, it's just where you're stuck and then where they're stuck, okay? Or what's sort of the obstacle here. So we'll start with this person, which I intended it to be you. It could be flipped. I don't know. I don't control how it comes out, but because there's a lot of cards, I'm going to do one person at a time. So if you resonate with this being you, your person's on the back end. And if this sounds more like your person, then you're on the back end of what needs to be healed, okay? So I'm going to lay these cards out, and I will put a timestamp to the channeling because I realize this is going to be quite the reading. So, loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Realization, 37, or number 10. The frequency of realization supports our internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. Oh my goodness. So don't look at these cards at all, okay? This is just, I asked Spirit exactly where's pile 1 stuck, or what do they need to heal here, or what's getting in the way of this connection. Until we have surrender, defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. We have the hold, 32, Or the number 5. We had 5 with the domino. And we have work. This is the equivalent of an 8 pentacles here for me. It's like the dedication or the actual energy we're investing to make something happen. You gotta be committed, dedicated to the work, put in the energy. So here we have the seashore, the water and the sands. We have hunter of conflict. So 5, like I said, it's all about conflict. We have ancestor of guidance. So this looks like a buck. That's masculine energy. Empowerment. And so we have prince, light attribute, romantic charm and potential for power in the light attribute, and the shadow attribute, using power for self-aggrandizement. Okay. And we have girl with snake, empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable and boundaries. And here we have the crab, which is giving me this defensiveness energy. Crab has the shell, protect itself. So Cancer energy pulling through, and with the water here as well, I'm getting a lot of watery energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, some Aries energy. We have Neptune. Neptune's the ruling planet for Pisces, so more water energy. So Neptune is sort of the planet of dreams, you know, it could be fantasy state or unrealistic sort of fantastical ideas. Very dreamy energy. So we have number 9. 9 is about fruition, completion, and fulfillment. It's also moon energy I'm getting from this 9, because in the tarot, the moon would reduce to 9. So moon is all about emotions and subconscious. Okay, you're not seeing things potentially as they are. And here we have the self, 29 or 11. 11's a master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. Okay, so I know I'm shoved right there in the corner because I didn't know how many cards I have. So let me just slide this. I do feel this is you, or at least the you I was talking to in that first channel I was doing there. Okay. Let me tap into this just to make sure before I open my mouth what's coming through here. Okay. Of course you want peace. Okay, we all want peace. But I feel like we're stuck right now. Okay. And I think you don't realize here how much you really are in control of how this sort of pans out and how you can overcome this. Because I feel like you might feel as though there's more skin in the game for this person to do or say in order to heal something here. But I feel the ball is in your court. I really do. You know, like, of course, if this person is not in a workable energy, which we'll see. I'll get to this person shortly. Don't you worry, okay? But if, let's say, this person is completely in line with reality, capital R, like the absolute truth, okay, and we're in our distortion, then there can't be cohesion and harmony, okay? But if we're balanced, then we can become of service and work with the universe, okay? So this is why it's important when we are in distortions and in our own perception heavily, that we identify where we're in our own perceptions, because we're projecting and we're engaging with other people in ways that are destructive to us and destructive to other people potentially. Okay, so only we can control our own awareness of how distorted we are, or how in tune we are with our own reality, or in tune with the objective reality of what's going on. Okay, and the universe, like I said, is neither good nor bad. It's just happening. And so we attribute certain weights to things. This is good, this is bad, this is moral, this is not, this is a reason to get angry, this isn't, whatever stories we hang on to. Okay, and so what we need to do if we want to allow things to move, because you're here, or heal, okay, again, do what you will, is just to observe our own energy to see where our distortions are. So I feel like you were hurt, therefore there's a defensiveness that comes through here. But I feel like underneath all this defensiveness, there's a love. Okay, because if we were completely healed, we wouldn't feel hurt. We wouldn't feel a need to do anything at all, and we'd be cordial and allow this person to sort of be engaged with us, and we'd be totally fine. Okay, so there's a need to look within self and to connect to the self here, that is the conscious self that is unencumbered by traumas and what has happened to us, without attaching that mind story. So we need to accept what has happened as a thing that's real to us, okay, but we have to understand and have a understanding of it, okay, come to a realization that what has happened to us could be taken in any sort of way, and the only reason we took it the way we did was because we are a cumulative, a culmination is the word I'm looking for, a culmination of our experiences. And just like I was talking about Hitler at the beginning of this video, okay, we're a culmination of what has happened to us, our stories, our upbringing, our traditions, our values, and everything here. And so it produced this self. You are living now in the false self, because this isn't your truest self. This is the self that gets conditioned based on all your experiences. And so we're still asleep when we think we're this dream character. You're not this dream character. You're not the mind and the body. Yes, we should recognize what has happened. We don't say, oh, that was just a dream. That never happened to me. We're not in denial. Okay, that would be spiritual bypassing. Okay, I'm not asking you to spiritual bypass and say, well, we're just spiritual beings and this realm is all fake, and so let's just go and pretend we're just kumbaya and everything's great and that we're eternal forever. Although, yes, it is true, okay, that we are eternal. But what we need to understand here is whatever's happened to us here is that but a thing that we need to have a healthy relationship to understanding what we attribute to that and what we're attached and identify as the body and the person that got hurt. Okay, because now we're defensive. And so this is the work that we're needing to really do, is to understand, for one, that we're really enmeshed in the pentacle realm here. We're in the matrix realm. We think that what has happened to our body, what has happened to us in experience, is actually happening to us, and it's not. It really isn't. So we need to understand this concept. How do we understand this? By spiritual work. Because when we meditate, however you do it, sitting through stilling the mind, walking through nature, connecting to the divine, prayer, chanting, mantras, I don't know, whatever you do, it comes to a point where we connect to the being itself, the I am. And when we connect to this, nothing else feels real, because it's not. Okay? It's not real. When you come into this world, you have your being. Your name, your experiences, your parents, all that stuff is nothing but a transient experience that comes and goes like a wave. And then you're reborn in another body, more experiences. But when we attach to it, it's just like a dream, this lifetime. You think you're this lifetime only, solely. And so you're connected to it. You're attached to it. And so what happens to you creates suffering and pain and conflict. Okay, so I feel like this experience is so that you could connect to the truest self. And I think this experience was going to happen to you. If it wasn't this person, it'd be someone else. And it might still be continuously happening in this way for you to see this. And so I don't think it has anything to do with this person trying to specifically attack you or hurt you or do something here to deceive you. It just so happened that this person was karmically intertwined in your energy to create this lesson or this experience for you, so that you can see your truest self. Because as long as we're in this energy, we're in separation consciousness, we're perpetuating loneliness, we can't connect. We're being asked to rise above and connect with unity consciousness. We are all one. What I do to you impacts me greatly, because we are all connected here. Okay, so you're being guided here to empower yourself in a way here that's different than how you think you're empowering yourself. So you're empowering the false self, and you're perpetuating a sort of separation loneliness. instead of empowering yourself to be responsive and in the moment to deal with reality, the real truth, capital T, reality, capital R, that is the spiritual being and what's going on, that things are happening, that we're not attributing any sort of experiences or projecting any sort of ideas, okay, or concepts to that experience. We're just seeing it as it is in the moment, and we're not attached. Okay, so I feel like for this group, you're still sort of feeling for this person. I feel they're in your heart, and you're hanging on and nurturing this sadness here in a way that keeps it alive because of your perception of what's happened here. Okay, and so Spirit is saying, like, you don't have to be lonely. You don't have to experience what it is here you're experiencing. You're choosing to do this, and it's a hard pill to swallow. Okay, this is a hard pill to swallow because no one would choose to be in sadness. No one would choose to suffer. Okay, but only that when we are in the mind, when we think we're the dream character here, when we're identified heavily with it, when we haven't transcended to the spiritual self to understand we are conscious being here. We're not the body, the mind, and the experience. And once we really, really get that, and then it starts to diffuse some of this defensiveness, then we can open the heart space, because I feel like you want to experience love. And so if it's not with this person so much, it could be just, how do I open my heart space so I can have share love again, because I was betrayed, I was hurt, I can't trust anyone. I want to be able to show my love and be able to receive love, but I feel like there's this, I can only do this if it's safe. I can only, like, there's certain parameters around how we can receive and give love, and there shouldn't be. The heart has no parameter. The heart just knows to love, period. So I feel like we don't want to get taken advantage of. I feel like we could potentially still experience other connections where we're the victim. Okay, we're the victim, and other people have the propensity to hurt me. No, they don't. If you believe that to be true, then your reality becomes that, because you believe it to be a thing. Okay, nobody can touch your purest being. All they can do is create certain perceptions that you can either carry or you can choose to see a different perception. The choice is always yours, like I talked about. And that is how we create our future, because now we're in the pathway of choosing to see something in a way that doesn't respond in a certain way. So if I get defensive, angry, I'm choosing a path of separateness, anger, loneliness. If I choose to see that as something that someone's behaving in shadow and behaving like a narcissist or whatever, I see it, I accept where that person's at, I know it's a projection, and then I choose the other path. And the other path is, okay, person, I see where you're at. I have nothing but compassion for you, my brother, my sister. I do not respond in a way here that's going to create pain or suffering for me or you. And now I'm on the other path. And I don't have to burn and turn and spend a whole however long, suffering and in conflict. So you're the one in power here to choose the path. Okay, so the conscious path. Where do we want to go? Do we want to argue and be defensive and keep our perception, or do we want to choose the path of the reality of what's actually happening here? Okay, so the ego likes to make an I of itself and say, I was hurt. I was the one. I'm an individual I. You're not. Okay, we are all one being. The ego has to sort of be seen through for what it is, just an illusion. Okay, so this is you. This is why you're stuck here with pains and being defensive. So you have to come to this realization. Hopefully these videos are helping you, because I feel like this has been a consistent message here for you, beautiful angel. Let's take a look at your person. What's going on with this person that's creating all sorts of havoc in your world? So romantic love, 39, or the number 12. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience and reflection of a conscious lover. So this was me telling you to be a conscious decision maker person. This person's path, their experience, is to be in connection with a conscious person. So you're the hang up, like I said, ball in your court when you're conscious. This person was supposed to experience a conscious lover. Things are at a stalemate here. Okay, I don't know. You could say, I don't want this person. They hurt me. Okay. Well, that's their experience. Maybe there's someone else here then that this person's supposed to experience consciously. Could it be you? I don't know. You're stuck. You're stuck in the dream state. Okay? You're making up fantasy. Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Surrender fear. Let go of the fear stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment. Focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. Wow. Dependency with the chains. So chains could be the devil energy. Okay, being bound by something here that keeps us very stuck. 61 or the number 7. Capricorn energy. Yeah, Capricorn energy pulling through blockage. Look at that. So it's a pinball, and we see a little ball here by the throat chakra. A blockage in self-expression. Okay, we see someone's head here. Abundance. We see 2 waterfalls. The sun. The sun is masculine energy. It's enlightenment. Clarity. So Leo energy. And we have a clown. You're like, yep, it's my person. It's a clown. Okay, so this could be talking about taking things not seriously, not even taking ourselves seriously potentially, or wearing a mask, or putting on a show, or... So we have 2 people hugging. Okay, the green talking about the heart chakra, green ray, and the red talking about the root. And look, I feel like the heart, it encompasses the trauma, and the root, we have lots of blockages. Like I always say in this channel, the blocks are in the lower chakras. That's only where they could be housed. And if they're anywhere in our lower chakras, it's our job to identify those blocks so that energy can flow to the heart center. Okay. We have Shaman of Stars. So stars are Aquarius energy. Stars can talk about a vision for the future, destiny or wishes, healing. Virgin, light attributes, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Shadow attribute, fear of intimate union. Fear and fear. So we have girl talk, time with friends, moving on, happily single, loving, I can't read, I'm sorry, living in the moment and having fun. Girl talk. So girl could be looked at as a divine feminine energy. We have goat, Capricorn energy coming through. You're feeling that with the devil energy, Capricorn. So goat's about determination. Your ambitions, staying dedicated and committed here. Could also be a very stubborn sort of energy. We have summer, 18. Okay, and 18 is the number 9. And that could be hermit energy, which is about self-reflection. It's also moon energy, which we were sort of picking up, I don't know, early on. I think in this channeling, we got the moon. Okay, self-reflection, feelings, subconscious. But summer energy is a beautiful energy because it's sort of this carefree energy, right? We sort of live in the moment, but then we sort of deal with the consequences of our decisions after the fact. So I'm seeing air energy here. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I'm feeling a lot of earth with the tree here, okay? So with the goat as well, and we were feeling Capricorn, which is also earth energy. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I just heard the fruit we bear. If it's bad fruit, it's coming from a bad tree. If it's good fruit, it comes from a good tree, okay? Like Jesus is teaching here, so... You have to sort of look at the fruit. The Pilgrim, 20. Okie dokie. Let me sit here with this energy. I do feel this is your person. Okay, but you can crisscross it if you feel like the other way around. So, let me see. Okay. This person feels really immature, okay? And this isn't to make judgment. We are all in different stages of our journey spiritually. We're all sort of being guided in our journey towards God, okay, towards our ascension. We all are being guided that way, whether we know we are or not, whether we're stuck or not. We don't have to be conscious of it or not, okay? It's just we're all returning back to God energetically by our growth, by our ascension. This person's in an early stage here. And their early stage here is one of really not understanding their full consequences here. And so the more we feed an energy of, they're also in this perception dream state. Okay, and the perception dream state here is that if it's enjoyable now in the moment and I'm enjoying myself, then that's sort of all that there is. There's nothing further to that. Okay, but that's a very shallow way to live. It's a very sort of transient way to live. We're bumping from thing to thing to thing, seeking some sort of happiness or joy or thrill. And I'm not saying this is like a thrill seeker so much as it is someone who needs to fill their heart space or their self, okay? The feeling of love, the true feeling of love that I was talking about here when we're a conscious being only gets filled when we're conscious and make conscious decisions, okay? But when we don't understand this concept, we try to fill that spot because that is our innate driver to fill that, okay? So this is why we're always chasing the next best thing, the best job, the best partner, the nicest car, the nicest house. And we're in forever pursuit of something here, okay? So this person's pursuing something here to fill some sort of something. Okay, and it's driving from a very natural place because we all want to be loved. When you strip it all away, what are we searching? We're searching for that deep connection of love. Okay, that's what this person wants. They might not say it, they might not understand it, they might just be sort of living in the moment or doing certain things here, but what they're pursuing is deep sense of connection and love. At the end of the day, they're going about it kind of all skewy. Okay, so how this person is engaging here is thinking that the outside world is going to produce this for them. So they're learning about shifting from that mindset, healing this part of themselves, and staying more in line with doing the reflecting now that heals and sees and works through this in order for them to actually get fulfilled. To fulfill themselves a little bit deeper, they have to connect to this part, or else they'll always be running, chasing, trying to fill, burning and turning, and never finding the thing that they need. So they have to change this about themselves. This is what they're destined to do, what they're destined to heal. This is driven by a fear, fear of sitting there unhappy. So we drive and we try to cling on to the next thing, or live in the moment, like the summer energy. It's like, I'm going to worry about that later. I'm just going to go and do the thing. And so we say, well, they're living in this present moment. Isn't that what spirituality is all about? Living in present moment, being consciously aware. Okay. Not running from fear, not being driven by the programming, because this person's decisions are all based on this trigger response of fear. Okay, so the ego has trigger responses here that put it into fight or flight. And so this person's ego is stemming from fear. Okay, so when we experience fear, that means that we are thinking we control. Okay, this means we think we're the doer, the controller of the universe, and so we experience fear. Because when we know that the universe is actually unfolding as it does, and the only thing we have to do is be conscious and make the decisions based on what the universe puts in front of us. We don't have to create the universe is already creating, it's already providing abundance, it's already there. We just have to respond to it, be in dance with it. We could resist it, we could run from it, we could do whatever we want, and that's our free will. But the universe is going to unfold as it does. Okay, it's going to unfold as it does. We have no control over the universe. And so fear comes in many forms. Okay, this could come in anxiety, control, whatever it is. But the root is the fear. And the fear is, I need to control what's going on here. I think I do. And so therefore, when it deviates from my control, I start to feel a certain way. And that's what's driving my actions. Okay, and so this person's blocked here, and they're chained to this sort of understanding. And so as long as they're chained, they're going to be dependent on the material world to provide them with the abundance here. And so we're forever chasing our tail. And this is kind of falling back in law of attraction. It's like what we think about and energize is what we experience, you know? So if we know that the universe is abundant, we experience abundance, but it goes so much deeper than the law of attraction here, because it is the universe is everything at all times, all at once, period. That is the objective truth. Now it's how we engage with the universe experience and dictates what we experience here. So if our perception is one of, I need to fear or be in control, then the universe gives us more things to be in control of. So this person has a difficult time right now to express their truest state, because I feel like this person doesn't fully understand sort of what's going on here, or why it is that they can't connect, or why it is that they're moving from thing to thing, or whatever it is. But the main thing still holds them back. It doesn't matter how many situations, relationships, or experiences that they enjoy temporarily. You know, eventually summer dissipates, eventually the seasons go, eventually relationships end, and then this person is stuck in bondage to this way of being. And so this might have happened for some time, and now this person is just not taking themselves and this experience or whatever it is in a way here that I feel is seeing their truest self. So they're acting a fool. You know, they're acting a fool here without really realizing that they're the ones that are creating all sorts of disharmony in their world. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this person certainly wants forgiveness, you know, because at the root, they just want to connect. And so in order for them to shift and change, they need a mirror. They need to understand this. And the only way to wake someone up is to engage with them in a conscious way. So their lesson is to connect with a conscious lover here, someone in their heart space. And in the heart space doesn't mean I love you. You know, that just means maybe, well, what does that mean? Love how? Love based on also a fear? You know, when you're in line, I love you. When you don't do this, that, and the other, I love you. When you're a certain way that I need you to be, I love you. But when you do this, I don't love you. That's not love. That's not heart space. Okay, so how do we love this person? This is a being of God. This is someone who's suffering, and they're in their illusion. The illusion that they have control. You know, the illusion that they have to be in a perpetual state of finding something that they don't already have within them. And so they might enjoy life for brief moments. And so as we experience this, we put more weight on those moments. And so we start to take advantage, potentially, you know, because we need that fulfillment right now. So they might choose the immediate gratification or the moment of whatever it is that seems very selfish. But this person is really scared of what would happen to them if they actually face what it is that they need to face, which is within them. You know, for them to find union here within themselves so that they can then truly be happy here. So it's in a kind of a, I don't know, like a state here of fearing this look at self, you know? So the only thing we could do is hold up a mirror. We can't force somebody to change this. And so I feel like this person does live in the moment, but it's in a moment of reacting out of their traumas and not responsive based on conscious choice and decision. So you guys are mirroring each other in this way. And so I feel like this person is having a difficult time sort of moving on because they're being asked to change this about them for them to become conscious as well. But this person, I feel, is way behind this person. I feel like this person has the ball to be a conscious mirror to this person. And even if this person, I keep saying this person, so if you're just listening to audio, you're getting confused. The first person I read, we'll call it the self person, the more ascended, who's still in matrix, who's still in their perception, who still needs to understand what it is to forgive and love. When this person extends the mirror by being conscious, and that's all they need to do, it will awaken this lower state. I say lower, but it's really just vibing on a different level of consciousness. This person to wake up. Okay, but how many people do you know that's consciously awake? And so this is what brought these two together. And so I feel like this person would forever just sort of be in this state, you know, until obviously their contractual whatever with the karmas gets them to evolve. But in this lifetime, I feel like this person is being asked to change. They're destined to understand some sort of concept here. And so even if the first person I read doesn't want to engage in a romantic way, it's their sort of unity with this person as a being, as a brother, as a sister, to want the best for this person, to allow this person to ascend, to be in line with reality and truth, so that this person can also be in reality and truth, and not hold them hostage, and not to be angry, defensive, resisting, perpetuating this person's reality. So we got these two people in reality, in their perception, rather than living in reality. Okay, so yeah, two people still in ego, still in trigger mode, but this is what's happening here. And so this person, I feel like the only thing that the person one is ever going to get from person two until they heal this is like they don't really care. They can't get deep. They're not connecting in that way. Of course they're not. Of course they're just keep doing this, which seems like they don't care. It's too light. They're more concerned with the frivolous thing, you know, running around in our shorts or at the beach. Who cares about those sort of things, right? When we think about it, if we're running away, but those things could be precious experiences in the present moment if we're conscious, you know. But we can't take life too seriously, but we also have to connect to a certain part of self here in order to extend it. So if this person doesn't even take themselves seriously, they can't extend any sort of seriousness to the other person. They can't even connect with themselves. They're not even authentic themselves. I feel this person hasn't connected to any sort of spiritual concepts at all. Their head is blocked here. Okay? So the head, like the crown, the third eye, the throat, that's all where the spirituality happens. This person's blocked from this. They're still in the root chakra. You know? Like partying and superficial and addictions, bad habits, things that keep us stuck in the material world. The pentacle realm is real. That's all that matters. That's all I'm engaged with. It's like, well, okay, but we need to ascend to a more spiritual being. That's what fourth density is about. This is new earth. We're no longer animals or cavemen. We're spiritual beings that are ascending, that are growing, that know that there's energy and connection and spirit and divine and that sort of thing. Okay, this is what this person's learning. So most likely a younger soul here. Okay, that doesn't mean anything bad. Like this person could be like 60 years old, but their soul is still going through a lesson here. Okay, is still going through this lesson. So I hope this helped you guys. Beautiful pile number one. I know this was a very involved reading and not for everyone, and I'm absolutely okay with that. Okay, hopefully you guys find a reading that does resonate for you guys at one point here, but I read exactly as I see it, and this is what I see. Beautiful pile one. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number two. You guys pick 32 with presence, and it says the energy of presence supports our ability to focus our full attention and stay in the here and now. And the domino of the blank rune, or rune. I think I'm reading runes, the blank space and the two. Okay, so let's tap into this shortly, but let's go over what this reading is. So I have two sort of piles here, and I asked the divine spirit to communicate to us, where is pile two stuck potentially? What are they needing to heal or work through with this connection, with this person, with the situation, with the circumstance? Okay, it's really supposed to be others that you're involved with here, because we're looking at two energies or a connection you're dealing with. So it's kind of like a you versus them. Okay, but it's not really a versus so much as it is, what is it that's the first person here might be hung up on, needing to sort of work through, and what is it that the other person might be needing to work through or hang up, and then how these dynamics are sort of maybe getting stuck or not working, or why there's challenge if we're coming from two complete different perspectives. Okay, they could be at odds with each other. So you could either be this person on the left or the right, although I won't be doing left right. I'll be reading one person and then the other, so you'll have to see who's who, just because there's way too many cards. So if you're not to the first, then you might be the second. Okay, so let's tap into the overall energy here of this connection first to see what we tap into. So I do feel like this could certainly be indicating a need to be more in the present moment rather than thinking of what could be or what has happened. Okay, so I don't know if we're more in the past or in the future, but if we're feeling any feeling of sadness or anger or a feeling that we've been let down in any sort of way, then we're most likely living in the past. Okay, now if we're feeling any anxiety or also some anger, it could be we have a need to control, and so we have a focused outcome or something that we believe to happen or needs to happen, and so this could cause suffering. Okay, so being in the present moment is all about being a conscious lover and accepting the moment as it is and whoever we're in front as they are, because the greatest gift we can give to someone is be completely present, accepting them where they're at, how they are. Okay, now this doesn't mean we endorse or support the fact that they might make bad decisions in a way that enables them, but we understand where the person is at and we are able to accept them as they are in a way that forgives them for anything that we might think is out of projection or hurt. Okay, but we need to be conscious so that we know what it is we're dealing with here. So I feel like the blank spot is talking about, I feel like an open slate here. It's a beautiful energy because this is like infinity. I feel like this is anything can happen here. There's no like boundaries, okay, which is in the present moment, because when we are in the present moment, we're able to dance with the universe to see all the things that are actually happening in front of us without manipulating it with our perceptions. Okay, so potentially someone in this connection could be very conscious, okay, or could be open to all possibilities here. And I feel like another person here might be sort of potentially up and down or inconsistent or needing to make a decision, or maybe in and out or hot and cold or temporary or still indecisive in some way. It could also be that other person maybe is working through something in their practical world where they're incapable to fully be present or commit or be relied upon because they have some form of material thing they might be dealing with that's creating some sort of scarcity. Okay, so it's like if I'm really wrapped up in having to get my life together, let's sort of take precedence over everything else because maybe I have no home or no job, or I'm battling an addiction, or I'm doing this, that, and the other. And so I seem as though I'm not present, or I can't fully be on or committed or dedicated or as open because I keep getting pulled back to this material world. And so this message is coming through for all three piles, okay? And this hasn't been communicated yet on this channel. So I think this is needing to be communicated here as an understanding, because I know I talk a lot about the spiritual realms, okay? And I say whatever's going on sort of in the 3D matrix world is an illusion, okay? Because it's transient and we're not the body and that sort of thing, which is true to a degree, but it's still happening in the transient form. And so when we are spiritually balanced, we recognize that we're not the body in that experience, but we must understand that we've had that experience and that we are sort of in this body in this short period of time having those experiences. Okay, so we can't detach and be completely spiritually bypassed and say, well, if I die, then I'm dead, and anyway, everything isn't real anyway, because that's not really a way to live. I mean, you could, and it is true technically, because we are spiritual beings. Okay, that don't die because we're not the body, but there is a need to find balance and not spiritual bypass. And so I feel like if we're too much in the body, if we really feel the lack here, we start to suffer. And so we might think that we need to you know, work 9 to 5 in order to pay bills. And this is our sort of understanding. And I'm not telling anyone that they need to quit their job, but this becomes the reality. We keep the matrix alive rather than knowing the universe provides abundance. You know, and that whatever sort of reality we see is whatever it is that we perceive is going to become a reality. So I feel like this person is still in the matrix having to resolve something, and they are not either fully showing a complete, consistent, dedicated commitment, but I don't feel like it's because this person is, I don't know, like maybe unsure, you know, about who they're dealing with. But I feel like there is a need to be present. There is a need to allow things here to unfold as they do in the present moment, because there's only one present moment, and that's in the here and now. Okay, and we might miss it if we're too busy in the past or the future. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so I do intend on this first person being you, but only you know, and I will read it as you, unless of course it feels very heavy like the other person. Then I can't help it. I got to read it like the other person, just because that's how it comes through and helps me to channel. So let's see what this energy is all about. So we have forgiveness. Interesting. If some of you guys were called to pile 1, because that was the card that we got for the picks, then there could be a connection here. Okay, so forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Beautiful message. Beautiful message. So we have third eye chakra, number 6. The frequency of third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination and our psychic powers. And we have surrender to rest and sleep to prevent burnout. Slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. And we have stay back, 29, or the number 11. So 11 is a master number. Divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. The snake's all about healing and wisdom. And there we see someone maybe putting up a boundary or resistance to something. The spirals could be talking about cyclical behaviors. Okay. And we have root. Getting grounded. Connecting to the earth as a material plane here. So I'm getting earth energy. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We have 2 older people, seniors potentially, sitting on a park bench. Masculine, feminine, it looks here. One of them's hanging on to money. And we're talking about somebody in the material realm. So money is symbolizing the pentacle realm, the material realm, the money realm. And the other one's sort of sitting there. Okay. So it could be that the masculine is dealing with some material matrix type stuff here. Shaman of courage. I feel I'm tapped into the masculine energy here potentially. Mother. Nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. Shadow attributes, smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So it could be some form of mother wound here, a need to tap into the divine feminine energy. And we have kisses, unconditionally loving. So it's mother energy, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. Okay, and then we have rabbit. So the rabbit talks about fertility. Okay, rabbit could certainly be an energy that gets very spooked very easily and runs. You know, it's needing to trust before it feels it's safe, but it might just be triggered here to run away and not trust because it's spooked, like I said. And it does pull through sometimes as divine timing as well for me when I see the rabbit. Okay. And we have breath, 36, or the number 9. So breath is like the body. It just happens, you know. We just breathe. We don't tell it when to breathe or how it's breathing. It just sort of is doing its thing here, giving life to something without yeah, it's like we don't have to be conscious of our breath. It sort of just happens. And the kiss. You guys, look at this kisses and the kiss. My goodness. Number 60. So 6 is pulling through and we had 6 here. So 66 is a master number, service as a source of joy, in which one pours from an overflowing cup and not martyrdom. So 6 is lovers, about a choice, destined path. A kiss could be a physical connection here, or intimacy here. Okay, let me tap into this energy. I'm kind of feeling a blend here, but let me see what's going on. Where's my wand? Okay. Okay. So I kind of feel a blend here going on of this dynamic. So I don't know if both piles are going to be blended or if there's one more predominant energy here than not, but I feel the connection and a message coming through here. And I don't know which side you are. And most likely you're probably divine feminine, but I feel like there's certainly a lesson here about unconditional love. And I feel like both sides could certainly be learning that. And this is probably why it's coming through the way it is. Okay. But when we learn about unconditional love, we have to find within ourselves a certain acceptance and a certain level of understanding of consciousness here in order to extend unconditional love of self so we can give it to another. This is all about forgiving. You know, we forgive certain hurts, certain things within self, certain experiences we might have had that left us traumatized. And so when we hang on to certain experiences and we don't heal it, we're fragmented. So it could be mother wounds or an inability to love from a heart space because we don't want to get hurt or traumatized or had an experience. And so when we experience another relationship or something that triggers this within us, we might act out of reaction mode rather than being a conscious sort of person who understands what unconditional love is about and be able to remove the false self and the trauma and the experience in order to be conscious and aware and in the present moment so that we can know when the triggering is coming up and know when we are being of service to someone else by accepting them, and like a mother would accept their child. You know, it doesn't matter here if she's had an experience with another child who was disobedient or unruly or stressing her out in one sort of way. She's not going to all of a sudden be like an unloving mother, like not feed her child or not feed her other children or whatever. Like she knows of this this forgiving place because this unconditional love is the driver of all her actions. So she's affectionate and she's compassionate and she is able to give and receive a flow. Okay, so she's always in flow state of giving and receiving. She never goes into this. She doesn't say on Tuesdays I'm going to be hurt and so therefore I'll feed you Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, but on Tuesday I select when I'm angry because of what you did. You know, so she is always in this giving and receiving. And so what this means is that when the child is unruly for a full month, she might be in a full state of being open to give, you know, open to give. But she's also receiving the energy that the child is giving at that time. And she's not resisting it. She's not wanting that child to be anything but that child. Yes, she might want it to be a better version of itself in its potential, but she's not forcing that child or resisting that child before she can extend love or feed it. Okay, so this is a giving and receiving. So this is talking about this person, both people, really, all people, but this person I'm tapped into here, of being in a flow state of giving and receiving from an unconditional place, and be very conscious and in the present moment when there is a block or a resistance, because I feel like sometimes this block and resistance comes through, and this is a repeat thing that this person is experiencing, is like if they're hurt or something's triggered, it's like they might fall back and putting up a boundary or resisting the other person and saying, oh, this hurt me, you know, and so therefore I will, I don't know, like withhold my affection, withhold my intimacy, or withhold giving to you. But all this person's really doing is blocking the flow of giving and receiving when they are in this state. And so this is something they're healing, that they can be in an open state of giving and receiving. Now, this doesn't mean that this person is going to, allow their child, because I use the mother-child relationship here, to, steal or beat up the other children in the family or be this unruly. But what this mother does do is she doesn't withhold her love. The love is always open to flow, to give and receive. And she understands that this child is struggling. Okay, so when we understand, we extend a level of forgiveness. And so in this connection, this could be a parent-child relationship, but I feel like it's an intimate one here, but it's being reflected or mirrored in this unconditional love, that this person that I'm tapped into will have to extend some form of understanding and acceptance rather than get into certain trigger mode and resistance or like withhold some sort of affection or some love here because they're hurt, and get boundaried up. Okay, because now it stops the flow. So it could look different. It's like understanding the boundary and saying, what you did might have triggered something here within me, but I'm going to look at what it's triggered within me so that I'm very aware of in the present moment, if I'm acting out of consciousness, like consciously making a decision, or if I'm just reacting and sort of resisting or fighting this other person because I'm hurt. Meanwhile, the other person might have just been acting out of their own triggers and traumas here, which I feel would be most likely the masculine energy, which is dealing with some sort of pentacle thing. So for example, if you follow along, this energy I'm tapped into, this divine feminine, let's say she has triggers, mother wounds, whatever, loving wounds. She's learning about unconditional love. Okay, and all of a sudden, this other person, the masculine, is dealing with something in the pentacle realm, like stress because he can't, find a place to live, let's just say. I know it's extreme. Okay, and so he's on edge. He might not respond to her. He might be dealing with something here that is totally in the root chakra that takes precedence. Okay, it's in the hierarchy of needs. This person needs to feel safe. In their mind, in their perception, if they don't have a place, that's the biggest lack here. And so they're dealing with this. And so this other person might feel rejected, and might feel let down or upset, or like the other person does not care. But there really isn't anything to forgive here other than the fact of seeing and accepting that this other person is dealing with their own perception of lack. And so just like this breath, it's like something that is very sort of natural here, and once this person, the feminine energy, okay, it doesn't mean it's born female, it's just the feminine energy here, can conceptualize this, okay, but really be driven from the heart, then it is something that happens very organically here to extend love and to just allow this organic state of giving and receiving flow. She doesn't get into the trigger of where she needs to then extend forgiveness and say, well, this person just didn't call me, or it wasn't important enough or prioritized enough. Like that would be a misconception of understanding coming from the thing that needs healing. Okay, so this divine feminine needs to get rooted here. Okay, she needs to get rooted here. And so she needs to understand her trigger. She needs to find balance. We have the masculine and the feminine with the sun and the moon. Okay, we find balance between the masculine and feminine with self. And so we're able to be more grounded and feel in the present moment of what's actually happening in order to make more grounded decisions in the present moment, okay, based on what's happening. Because I feel like potentially there is this mirroring, I feel like that's going on here, where if we don't necessarily trust completely the other person, which is coming from the trigger and the trauma, then we might start to be skeptical and run from what we need to face, or run from what we need to do. So there is some running in here, whereas when we put up a block saying, this is my healthy boundary, I'm upset that this other person didn't respond or didn't do this, that, and the other, because I feel they need to do this, rather than accepting that the person's dealing with whatever, that's a form of running away. It's running away. and by blocking someone out because of a trigger and we don't want to be hurt. Okay, but looking at it as there's nothing to be hurt about. There's nothing to be hurt about. There's nothing to run or avoid. There's just staying grounded in the present moment, seeing that person as their perception is creating all sorts of things in their reality. Nothing to do with this other person. That's the ultimate truth. Okay, so I feel like this person might be swayed to run away depending on what's going on in this connection. So this would require courage to tap into this. This would require courage to remain in the heart space. It's not easy at first because the heart and the unconditional love is something we need to consistently feed. That sort of awareness coming from the heart space, you know, being affectionate here regardless, because I feel like the affection is us showing, you know, showing how we love and not sort of it being dictated by something else here that isn't necessarily true. So with the surrender, rest, and sleep, I feel like this is in order for us to find the balance, to be really grounded in reality. We need to connect to the part of ourself that is very present. It's slowed right down. It's a still energy here. Our mind, body, spirit needs to be in complete coherence, okay, in order for us to be present, in order for us to recognize these signs. And so I feel like if we're totally in the material world and realm, we might miss what's coming through us in the spiritual with the third eye, like a knowing and an understanding here. And so the best way to keep the third eye open and the intuitive self is to bring the material self or the 3D self to a stilled state that is an open channel to receive, so that we know when how to use discernment, because I feel as though certain people could certainly take advantage of us if we're, you know, in a state here of, oh, just love all and be an open channel of give and receive and be totally taken advantage of. Okay, so we need to know and have discernment. Okay, but we need to know when is it out of my own triggering past that's creating this, or is this person seriously just dealing with their own projections and their traumas? The only way we could see this is to be totally still. So I don't know, meditate, get enough sleep, get enough rest, be in the present moment in order for us to be in tune with this. But if we're, you know, wrapped up in distraction, completely an auto program, we don't know when we're in trigger mode, and then all we see is what's happening, and then we start to act like this bunny and put up boundaries and run and not trust and all sorts of things. So divine timing is pulling through again, like I talked about. So I feel like this is happening for there to be a meeting of the minds in divine timing, for an experience to happen, so that this person could get predominantly in the heart, understand what it's like to be affectionate here, despite maybe wanting to run because of a past trigger or a trauma, and being completely aware to give and receive love and affection. Okay, so this takes courage. This takes courage to trust and to be in this state and not to be thinking I'm just going to get hurt, or this person is just using me, or I'm okay. That's the trauma speaking. That's the past experience. That's the ego saying, are you sure? Don't be stupid. You're taken advantage of. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like there's a connection here that could stand the test of time with these two old people here sitting, trusting each other. But one's dealing with some sort of material issue here, or pentacle realm thing. Okay, so I feel like this person is highly ascended, although still ego could come through here. Okay, could certainly come through here. So with pile one, there's a lot about how to overcome that forgiveness and this trauma and this trigger, because I feel like this person could easily just fall back into their ego, you know, easily just fall back into that. So it's like, what's the natural state with this breath? Are we living more from the heart, or are we living more from the trigger and the mind? And because if we're being honest, most people are still living from the experience, okay, from their egoic self. This is how they're making decisions. And so this person needs to be reminded, keep going back to the heart, keep going back to this unconditional love. What would the heart do? You know, how would the heart respond here? Is this loving? Is this holding out affection or love because I'm triggered or traumatized? Okay, we need to be able to tap into knowing better. You know, is this something I could trust? Or am I just sort of responding in this way because it's bringing out a certain part of me that's experienced pain in the past, and so I'm projecting onto this that I can't trust this person, or that I have to be a certain way, or run away, or block, or whatever, rather than remain present in this moment, balanced, pure, completely open in my heart. Okay, so this pile one, or pile two, I'm sorry, first person, pile two. Let's take a look at this other person, because we did a lot of thinking this person might be in the pentacle realm, potentially dealing with something here. So when we have discipline, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So with the two pentacles, like I said, if there's an inconsistency here in this person, they're trying to find a state of balance. They would have to put discipline towards whatever it is that they're trying to achieve here. Allowance, 9. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. Wow, beautiful. Surrender to joy. The key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both of the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. Laughing and crying, 45, or the number 9. It's third eyes there. Laughing and crying. Okay. Illuminate. So we have the Hermit's lantern. The Hermit is Virgo energy. I'm picking up with this pile. An inner understanding here. Going within. Breathe. You guys, look at the mirroring here. You guys got breath, or at least this first person got breath. This person got breathe. Isn't that interesting? So we have the lungs here. It's made of foliage. We have a butterfly and some birds. Butterflies about transformation. Birds could be talking about ascension, communication. Breathe. So we have a robber or a dark shadow with glowing eyes. Illuminate. Illuminate. What are we seeing? And I don't know what's in the background. Is that like a picture or an open window of sorts? Let's see. A dancer of fear. I'm certainly feeling a lot of fear from this dark shadow. Dancer of fear. And Don Juan. Light attributes. Spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Shadow attributes. Using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Okay. And we have ascending. Transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, preparing for union. Okay, and squirrel. So squirrel is certainly preparing. Okay, this is preparing for a union. A squirrel takes all the sort of precautions, uses the disciplines in order to create its future state that's stable. Okay, let's see. What's going on here? We have the androgyne. So this is no label. You know, this is not masculine, not feminine, no label. It's kind of an isness. This is this present moment. We have number 62, or the number 8. And we have the mask. 61. That's interesting. 61, 62. So we have succession and 2 different oracle packs here. Someone's making progress. Mask is the inauthentic self, and this could be the shadow self, and here even laughing and crying. Let me tap into this. This Don Juan's throwing me off as well a bit, so I think I might have to grab some tarot. I'm just trying to see maybe this pack here. No. Let's grab this pack here. So I didn't use tarot on the other one, but I feel I might need it. Let's just see. I'm going to channel this second person here in pile 2. Okay. I feel like this person might have, there's different messages coming through, okay? We'll see if tarot does clarify some of it, but I feel like this person might have a challenge being intimate and actually seeing a side of themselves here that they might be suppressing, okay? And it does connect back to a material realm here, because I feel like we are conscious beings. We're a beautiful light energy, okay? But there's something about the physical body here, the physicalness of connection, that maybe this person has a very difficult time accepting of themselves, or being in a certain energy without passing judgment. Okay, and so this is reflected here by this person's, like, there's kisses coming through here, you know, and this is very physical. You know, and I was talking about affection a lot, because kisses is like showing intimacy and affection. And so maybe this person, the first person I read, sorry, I know I say person A, okay, person A might be very affectionate or showing this and feeling rejected. And like I said, and it might get triggered. I feel rejected, or I feel let down, or I feel hurt. And so I put up a boundary when I show affection here and it's not reciprocated, or whatever the case may be. They feel rejected here, which is understandable, although it is a hurt that is created based on the experience of the past. I didn't get reciprocated, you know, 5 minutes ago when I kissed this person, or when I showed affection yesterday, and so I could be upset about this thing. Or I could be in this present moment, understanding that this person might be connected to me in an unconditional loving way, but is challenged with physical connection. It has nothing to do with person A, because they're in some false self state. And the false self state might have a lot of fear around allowing themselves to connect on an intimate way, to allow themselves to experience joy, to experience connection. You know, so I feel like this person is they might have trauma, for sure. For sure they have trauma, but trauma around maybe identifying as someone who could be affectionate or sexual or enjoy sensuality. And so there's a discomfort here. And it could certainly be stemming from resisting happiness, or resisting something subconsciously here, because I'm unworthy or undeserving, or it's not for me, or something in this shadowy side, okay, that stemmed from any sort of past experience that would trigger this person to be in such a state. So I feel like this person is working to see parts of their shadow self, and they're being encouraged to see certain parts of their shadow self, because intertwined with their fear and what they experienced also sits their joy, okay? And so they could experience joy in engaging in something that might also bring them a lot of fear. And it is not clear to this person if they enjoy it, if this is exciting, if this is something that's aligned with happiness, or if it's something that brings them discomfort, they don't like it, they're not attracted to, not that they're not attracted to person A, but attracted to this energy of connection, or of sex, or attraction, or intimacy, or being out there. It might make this person feel very uncomfortable. Okay, so we know in natural truest state here, everyone is worthy of connection, okay, and affection, and a safe place to allow themselves to surrender to joy, surrender to experience, without feeling like they're putting on a false self. This person might feel like their false self comes out in this way, and it makes this person feel very uncomfortable, because they're still not connected to a certain part in self that is seeing their truest self, seen through the shadow here. And their shadow is unwinding this false self that's intertwined in how they connect and show affection and love. They have to sort of identify what's healthy and what's not here. And I think it's all sort of melded together in one way, because they just take the experience or their understanding of what creates discomfort in them and throw it all in sort of one bundle. And what creates a discomfort for them is potentially putting themselves out there, or dating, or showing some sort of passion or some sort of sexual energy or some sort of affection in some way. So this person is transcending through this shadow, trying to identify the false from the true, the shadow from the light, trying to see things differently here with all this rainbow color, to gain a different perspective, the more ascended perspective of connection, and allowing themselves to feel happy, allowing themselves to feel joy, allowing themselves to feel connection, and without feeling like they're being seduced or false, or like it doesn't feel right. So I don't know, maybe this person just hasn't had a lot of intimacy, or is very uncomfortable with intimacy, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like this person is in the pentacle realm here, which we were really feeling. Maybe not showing interest and then showing interest, or showing like affection and then not, or they seem like they're not interested, but yet there's a feeling of connection between these two. And it could be because in the what's coming out of this person is almost like an uncertainty about whether they want to allow themselves to engage in the material realm. Like, do I really want to engage in this way? Like, because there's something deeper going on here that isn't letting this person sort of be. So I hope I'm doing justice in explaining what this is, but I feel like this person's false self is taking the wheel when they wrap up their whole idea of what it means to connect on a physical level with fears and uncomfortableness and false self and that sort of thing. And they're really being encouraged here to work through this. And so I feel like this person is making progress, because I do feel like the future state of what this connection could be something completely different. But we have to be in the present moment of whatever's going on and face this. So what this person needs to do, if this is your energy, which I feel like it might be your person, this person is being asked to remain in the present moment of the discomfort, because I feel like there is joy to be had. They have to allow what's happening organically to happen. If I'm feeling aroused, if I'm feeling connected, if I'm feeling love, if I'm feeling like I want to extend some affection, feel that. Don't resist it, and don't feed the story here of the discomfort or whatever it may be. I feel like this person is being asked to really lean into that feeling of discomfort, because they're not sure whether they want it or not in some way, because it's so intertwined in the trauma, So this could be somebody who's been abused sexually, or just has a very unhealthy relationship to their sexual body. Their how they connect to that side of themselves, their sexuality. It's like laughing and crying. It's like I said, it's so they don't know one from the other. It's like, are they traumatized, or do they want to like feel love and affection and connection? Of course we want to feel love, affection, and connection, but we can't unwrap the trauma and the pain that we feel, or the discomfort or the awkwardness that we might feel, or the shame and the guilt that we might feel, if it's all intertwined. So there's a big intertwining of uncomfortable things that have happened, or traumas with this person that are really driving how they're engaged with the relationship with sex and intimacy. Okay, so they're needing to see through this and connect here. And so I feel like what Spirit is really showing is that through the dedication and commitment and allowing themselves to feel in the present moment every time this is happening, through it without resisting it or running away or suppressing it, to lean into the feeling of that brings them the joy, to indulge in what it is that's going on here, and slowly but surely will allow them to build what it is that they want. So I feel like energetically these two people are certainly connected, because I feel like there is a passion and a love and a desire here, but it's being suppressed. And so this person feels rejected potentially, and so they come up with this boundary, because it's like, I can be affectionate, I could be unconditionally loving, I could show all the support, but if I feel rejected, and I have a trigger trauma here that it comes up, because now I've experienced cycles with this person where I keep feeling rejected sexually, or however I'm seeing like physical. Okay, then they feel angry, or they start to put boundaries, but this perpetuates the pain. because this person still needs to heal through this, and it's going to take time. Well, this doesn't mean this person has to be a martyr here, because we were really picking up that 66, I don't know what it was from, 66, which was service of a source of joy in which one pours from an overflowing cup, not martyrdom. So we don't have to martyr ourselves here, but we should be at least understanding, because I think when we understand this person's trauma, this doesn't mean, oh, I'm okay without affection. This just means I understand where this person's at. I see where they're at. I accept where they're at, and I could really understand this. And so I don't need to be rejected, feel rejected, that it's me that's being rejected, that I'm the one that's no good. Okay. And so we sort of depolarize this need for, I don't know, like resistance or anger or defensiveness. And so we show compassion. We lean more into the heart. We don't have to continuously put ourselves out there in this sort of more, I don't know, like affectionate way if we feel rejected, but we can show compassion and love. That's somebody here who's experienced suffering, who's in the shadow, who needs to see themselves, who needs to get comfort with their sexuality. This could be somebody who might be also dealing with sexuality, like if they're, I don't know, like maybe this is not a typical, I say typical, whatever, like a common sort of socially accepted connection, Maybe there's an age gap. Maybe it's the same sex. I don't know, but there's a discomfort here. Or just maybe this person was traumatized when it comes to sexually as a child. I don't know what their past is here, but that is certainly coming through. And it's a big shadow for this person to have to work through this. I feel this person is working through it. But I feel like the other person might just be still rejected and might be holding a boundary every once in a while, or consistently, or in a state right now of boundary. So this is why this is stuck. This person has to accept this part of themselves and stay dedicated to this, because when it starts to feel discomforting, if they just let it go and go back to the old self that fears this in the mask, they don't really get anywhere. They don't really build anything here. It's kind of like they gave up on themselves, their own joy, because in order to really tap into this joy, this person has to accept that true connection is intimacy and being completely vulnerable and open without feeling guilt, shame, or suppressing or denying any of this stuff. But obviously if they feel awkward or if they feel shame or whatever, they have to work through this. And this is like one present moment at a time, organically. This is how this person's going to ascend and transcend through this obstacle. So I feel like this person is learning how to prepare through this and having to go through this. But if they're still heavily in their shadow and their mask, this is how they would overcome this. This is how they would truly see this part of self and why it is that they're engaged the way that they are. So the more they lean into that activity, the more they sort of see the truest self here, beyond the mask, beyond the shame, beyond the pain and whatever, and truly know that when they're feeling the discomfort, it's not the real story of what's going on. It's just the trigger response or the trauma response. So they got to allow themselves to feel through that discomfort, to feel through the fear, to feel through all of that stuff without judgment. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, present moment, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. So then it becomes natural. We naturally want to hold hands. We naturally want to be intimate. We naturally want to connect. We naturally want to be physical. It's a natural state. This person's not in a natural state right now because they're running in fears. So I don't feel I need, but I feel there's a lot of trauma here. So I'm going to pull the tarot. I don't feel I need it so much. Let's just see. Spirit, a final message here for a beautiful pile number 2. Either a pile 2's person or pile 2 themselves. What is it that they're needing to know? Thank you so much, Spirit. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. What is it that they're needing to know? One went flying. It fell like this. We got 4 pentacles in reverse. So need to let go of our comfort zone. Something is holding us back. I feel like this person could not create stability. It seems wishy-washy. This is the 4 pentacles is a very stable card, but it's also unbudgeable when it's not willing to take risks or let go of things in order to grow and expand. So I feel like this learning expansion is letting go of the world we know, of the stability maybe that we are hanging on to in order to have a shift and change. Ace of Swords, seeing the real truth and taking action on real truth. So I feel like the real truth is being avoided by this person. Their authentic self is not being acted upon. I think this person sees it. I do, because I mean, this Ace of Swords is, the card itself is in the upright, but I don't feel like they're speaking the truth or taking action on it because of the discomfort. But I feel they see it. I think they know that they're wearing a mask, or that they're traumatized, or that they have some shadow, or that it makes them feel uncomfortable, or that they're not sure why they can't take action or speak of the truth. And there's a need to take action and letting go of the energy. Yeah, Ace of Wands. This is a new beginning, this is a new beginning, this in reverse. So this could literally be like the masculine energy showing it's not interested, like in the reverse. But it's like not acting on the impulse, the attraction, and the passion here. It's being suppressed by this person's trauma. Let's see, why is this here then, Spirit? Why are we seeing this? Just this person's not taking action on truth. Maybe they don't want to accept some certain part of themselves. Knight of Wands, taking action on the passion, like being free to pursue what they want out of passion is what they're being asked to do, to lean into it. I think they're resisting it. One more card, Spirit. What message do we have for pile number 2? Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. That's the squirrel energy. I feel like being committed, disciplined, dedicated, and putting in the consistent effort to achieve the results. So, okay. Yeah, and then 7 Wands. Okay. So, this message is coming through with this that I read. If this person seems hot and cold in and out, because it's only human nature that this person is going to feel the sexual desire or the affection, okay? I don't think this person's like a hermit living somewhere in a mountain, but I feel like they might come hot and heavy, or just they might show some interest here, but it's inconsistent, which is what we were getting with this inconsistency. And so it's like, are they interested or not? But it's like they can't get any closer, or the intimacy. So Spirit is saying that the advice for this person is to stay to task here with the discipline, the Knight of Pentacles, in their everyday present moment, in acknowledging what it is that they're feeling and staying to task with this, like really like standing their ground and allowing themselves to go through each moment as it happens here, because they are on a higher ground to overcome this, but they might feel like, oh, it's a lot coming at me, against me, that I need to overcome. And it's like they just need to stand their ground in this and be consistent with every opportunity that they have to overcome this awkwardness, I guess, if you will, or this shame or this guilt or this sense of being, so that they can build that stability, build that stability one pentacle at a time, which would mean letting go of their comfort zone of what it is that they're used to doing, which is, when I get fear, I just run, or I don't go any deeper potentially than kind of showing up 1 minute and then running away the next. Like I think this person sees it, but they're not fulfilling in that truth of what they really want. And I think what this person really wants is to bond deeply and connect and have affection and attraction to fulfill this sort of thing, but it would take dedication and effort on their part to do this. They might resist too, Queen of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's like the mask that they wear. This Queen of Wands is all about this mask. In reverse, it's like the mask needs to fall off. We're not this false self pretending to be someone we're not here. And this could mean, not pursuing the person here who we might be resisting in some way, but if there's attraction, it's just we're resisting or avoiding or suppressing or denying or fighting against or putting a boundary here, because we don't want to feel allow ourselves to feel the sexual energy. So I'd rather just defend, upkeep my trauma here by being defensive, or keep people out. That's my shadow self. That's my uncomfortable self. So I could go on and on and on, but I understand my readings are long. Beautiful pile number 2. I'm sorry that you're going through this. It's not very comfortable, is it? But again, I feel like this is your energy. Know that this person's feeling trauma, shame, guilt, suppressing self, wearing mask. It's difficult, but if we love someone, we can see this and we can just accept them where they're at and let them work through this, but it had nothing to do with you. You continue to shine your beautiful light, and you're worthy of being loved. You certainly are. So if you want to be loved by this person, it's like, know that this person does have feelings for you, but physically in the material realm, this person is challenged, okay? And it's fine. We're all challenged. This is how their challenge is coming through. Pile 2. So I hope this helped you. I love you very much. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 3. You guys picked the card of connection with the number 14 or the number 5. And it says, the frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonance with others, things, and ideas. And the domino of 6 and 5. So we'll get into this sort of shared energy of the connection shortly. So what we're doing is we're looking at two people or two energies, you versus this other person or this situation with someone here, okay? And we're looking at where are the blocks, what needs to be healed, what needs to be stunted or stuck on either side, and then how does this dynamic sort of create challenge or reinforce any sort of stuckness or challenge between the two of you guys, okay? So you could either be person A or person B. I intended on you being this first person I'm going to read, and because there's a lot of cards here, we're sort of going to do one person and then the next person. So before I get into it, which, like I said, you could either be person A or B, I don't know which one you fall in, we're going to tap into the overall energy and see what we get. So I'm getting a weird wave right now of energy. Interesting. Very weird wave. Very intense. So I feel like there is a very deep, deep connection here going on in the energetic realms here. Okay. So yeah, I feel there's, 14 is temperance. Okay. Which is finding harmony and balance, potentially between you two, but also the internal balance between ourselves. And there's so many things that we could balance, our physical being with our spiritual being, and finding balance between those two sides, or feminine or masculine energy might have to find balance. So lots of balancing coming through individually, and then as a partnership here, which would create more harmony and connection. I feel like this is what these two are doing, is finding the harmony in self in order to come into harmony with each other to form a connection. So right now I feel like there's a lot going on energetically in order to see what needs to be balanced. Okay, and so we talk a lot about spiritual concepts here, but it's very important to I was gonna say blend, to balance our spiritual self with the material self as well, so that we understand, that we have a body, that we have a mind, and that we are spiritual beings. But we can't ignore, the fact that we have a body and have experiences and say that's just ego and experience, and what's real is my eternal self, and everything else is sort of an illusion, which is true to an extent, but we are here on the 3D earth, okay? So we need to find balance, or else we're just spiritually bypassing. So this spiritual self, okay, is connected to the divine, knows it's an eternal being, but needs to understand its experiences, its perceptions, and find good balance between the two. Find balance between the masculine and the feminine. Where am I giving? Where am I receiving? Where am I taking action and doing what I should, or allowing myself to sort of understand certain concepts and feel certain things? So I feel like one person's sort of really driving that a balanced state, and it allows the other person to also find balance within self when one person acts as a mirror. Okay, so lots coming through with the 6, which is about balance. It's also lovers is about a choice. Okay, but I'm really feeling the lovers is the destined path partnership here that I feel is going on spiritually, and having to find the balance so that we can get on that path to find harmony and balance. And someone's struggling right now. Okay, the 5, I feel it's your person. They might be challenged. They might be in 5 swords. They might be in sabotage. They might be trying to rebuild themselves. I don't know, but I feel like they're challenged, and I feel like one person is potentially a little more balanced, or maybe has found balance. We'll see. And they might also be giving more to the other person here. Okay, so there might be an imbalance of how one person is showing up, you know, trying to find connection or maintain connection, or find harmony in the connection. So Sagittarius energy pulling through. Let's take a look at person 1, okay, or person A, which, like I said, I did intend it to be you, but we only know once we pull the cards. Use your own intuition. What you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether the messaging is right for you. So we have humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. We have coherence, 13, Scorpio with the 13, because that's all about transformation and death. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind. Yes, what we're talking about, temperance, the balance. Okay, for the optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. Heart, mind, coherence. Surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. Just give me 1 second here. That microwave beeping. All right, so I also have 68 with sitting on top of the world. So we see the intuitive eye here, sitting on top of the world. Okay, we have union. So we see the 2 again. So union in self brings about connection and balance, and union in partnership. So I've got to find harmony in self first here. Okay, and we have the calendar and the watch, which would really talk about earthly things here, you know. Like time is just a construct of when we're in the 3D. Well, like this is the linear model of thinking, you know, the egoic mind, days, time. But really, this is something that is the illusion here that we're needing to see through. So we're getting divine timing. Okay, and then we have all these ants on this anthill. And the journeyer. Okay. And we have saboteur. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay. And we have wedding rings. Union. Wedding, married, soul connection. We're really feeling soul connection with this. We're feeling this union with the union. Soul connection, eternal love, and everlasting promise. Oh my goodness. And we have salamander, so fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is about burn-offs, you know, and we burn off certain parts of ego. And we have to transmute energy and turn it into light. This is also, salamander is like a lizard, you know, I think it's a form of a lizard. So I'm getting dream state, and the lizard rejuvenates its tail. It's like one of the only animals in the animal kingdom here, lizards that can regrow their tail. This is something like a rebirth here, or a rejuvenation of something. Interesting. We have spider. So this is creative energy. This is creating our own sort of reality here. Spider. I'm feeling Scorpio energy. Some more here. And we have sun splendor. This is giving me union energy. 10 cups. Bliss, happiness. Utopian sort of future. And then the starborn, number 3. So this egg is kind of giving me this rebirth, rejuvenation, or to be born. 3 is Empress energy, divine feminine energy. It's also Venus. I'm feeling here with this starborn. Okay, let me sit here with this energy, you guys, and see, because this one's very interesting. So we have 14, because 8 and 6 is 14. So more Sagittarius temperance energy. Lots of balance pulling through this reading. Let's see. Okay. Beautiful pile number 3. You have a beautiful energy. It just needs attunement, tweaking here a little bit, okay? And we're all human here. So I feel like we could get in the energy of taking ourselves and this journey too seriously. So that could get in the way. It could really get in the way here. Okay, so there's a need for us to find a healthy balance, mind and heart coherence here. Okay, so when we know about the matrix and our perception and it's an illusion in some way, like I talked about, we're conscious, we're a conscious being, we're aware of it, but we know it exists. We could get wrapped up in it and become too serious, and we could start getting in our own way and creating sabotage. Okay, and Spirit is saying to be aware of what's going on, but also to know that we're on a journey here, a journey of ascension, and yes, we're going through die-offs and burn-offs, that this is the journey of creation. Okay, so we have to accept we're on a journey, we're creating something here, but we don't have to take it so seriously, because we're going to create this thing one way or another, and really it's about the journey. Okay, so we might be getting in our own way by falling into matrix things, such as when's this going to happen, you know, like really sort of buying into the illusion at times, and this gets in the way of the journey or to moving slowly. So we know that we're sort of engaged in this matrix world, and what you're engaged in is an experience you're having, absolutely. Okay, but there is a need for you to not be completely only solely focused on the what's happening in this journey in this 3D, that we've lost sight of everything else. The fact that we're being reborn, the fact that we're actually doing a lot of healing and transmuting energies, the fact that we're coming into balance within self so we can come into balance with all of nature, so we can work with everyone and everything, so that our mind is sort of free from any sort of suffering here, because it's now in the heart space. It's resonate, it's permanent place of resonance is in the heart. So we're acting out of heart space once we're, you know, proceeding on this journey. But if we're solely just focused on the journey or the other person or what's the happening or when it will happen, we're sort of focused on the results in this 3D world in front of me in this connection, are really the indicator of whether this is successful or not, and that's not true. So there's something being born within you, something you can't even put into words here, that is being created as a result of this journey. And this is a beautiful energy that has nothing really to do with the journey of this person, you know, or you and this person sort of maybe coming together, or this you know, this that journey, but the journey of the self, this journey of the self-discovery, the journey of mind and heart coming into balance, and me finding my own union with self, and me working with my intuition, and me being able to now work with other people to create certain things that I wasn't able to, all because I've been on this journey. So I don't need to be so hung up on the material worlds of when and how and why this and why that, and this synchronicity meant that whole thing, and I gotta be on this constant chase. There is no need to chase. There is no need to do anything except for allow ourselves to be very aware of the present moment, and allow ourselves to be taken however the journey takes us, because I feel like we might still be trying to use what we're seeing here as an indicator of whether this is successful or not, you know. So we're being reborn. Okay, we still got things we need to sort of detach from or let it burn off in order for us to form the thing. I think you're coming into union with self, which is full balance, full mind heart coherence. And so the mind, like I said, a lot of times when it's unhealed and it's in programming, is acting out of trigger and ego. That's ego consciousness. Okay, but the mind is a good thing when we are able to use the mind from a heart space. So now we can use discernment. We now have an understanding because we've gone through an experience here that we can now connect with the divine in a different way and say, oh, so all of that experience that I had was more of a perception, that time was real, or things were linear, or that things were sort of happening to me rather than for me in a way. And so now the mind can comprehend this multidimensional state of experience, and so now we're coming from a more ascended view here, and this is a more balanced approach. It's like, yes, I'm still in 3D body. Yes, things are still happening to me in 3D, but it's just a temporary state of being, and that I am this, this conscious being, this observer that's aware of what's happening. And so I don't need to take that situation as heavily, like when I'm in separation, or if there's an argument, or if we're not getting along, like I don't need to take it so seriously that it's like the obstacle in my journey now, that I need to resolve it, because that's looking at it from a very linear perspective, from the 3D mind. That's the mind falling back in egoic ways. So now we got to bring the mind back into heart, mind back into spirit, and know that we're still on this journey. We're still creating it. We're still the observer. We're still aware. We have to find balance, okay? The right balance. So we have lots of videos about finding the balance, the masculine, the feminine. We're not in a constant state of doership, which is I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to make it right, this person's got to do, okay? Because then that's us driving out of a need to control, which is stemmed from fear and a lack mindset that if I don't do this, I won't get. So we trust the universe, we trust its unfolding, we allow things to be as they are, even if they don't feel right in that moment. We don't try to control the outcome or change it. We take it as this is what is meant to be in this moment, in this experience, okay, so that we can find cohesion and that we can find a greater sense of balance here, so we can connect. So I feel like Spirit is showing union, commitment, soul connection, coming into to balance and harmony, and future sort of commitment of something we can great that's or something we can build that's great, like really being connected to what's going on here on earth through our spirituality, through our knowing, and being very tapped in from that place, from this observer's place. It's a beautiful energy when we're in balance. And this is sort of where you're navigating to. And so what's getting in your way is falling back into the linear model or the egoic way of thinking, that could certainly be getting in your way. So I say you because this felt like your energy. Let's take a look at the other person then and see what's going on, because I feel like they could certainly be sabotaging, but this person also sabotages. How they sabotage is they start to see this journey as a linear thing and need to have certain things present itself or understand certain things in order for it to say this is the right way the journey should go, this is the wrong way the journey should go. And there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's just happening. Okay, and we're needing to be responsive in the moment of how we're finding balance. So self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So it could be this person is working through self-worth and understanding the value in self. Empowerment 26, or the number 8. The frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in the deep trust that we all are connected through the same source. Wowzers. So divine masculine energy coming through with Aries. Surrender to complete healing. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Okay. And we have the sword, 77. So 77 is trusting the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom. Trust life and trust of self. Sort of truth. And then here we have the Ouroboros, which could be the cycle of life, and even the snakes representing shedding of the old self to be reborn. This old self might be an old self that has low self-esteem or doesn't see self-worth here. Accepting some sort of great truth. Leap. It's giving me Fool energy, Aquarius. Taking a leap of faith, trusting self, trusting divine. the unknown, trusting the divine, trusting the unknown. Might be very stuck in the world they created here. Empowerment. This is the superhero, you know, the hands glowing, the hand of the doership, taking action, being in control, feeling empowered. Okay. And we have the dancer of life. So life is in control. Life is happening. It's how we respond to it. Shapeshifter. Skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness. Ability to see the potential in everything. Shadow attribute. Projecting an image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. And bully. Light attributes. Highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Shadow attribute conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Okay, so that's an interesting energy that's pulling through here. I'm going to channel shortly. So Grim Reaper, the relationship is over. No second chances. Grow and transform your life. Dancer of life. And we have the hawk. So hawk's about ascension. The hawk also has great precision and when to take action. Okay, so it knows when to take action. I could see from a more elevated sort of perspective here. And we have iron. Iron's a very strong metal. It's used for the foundations of bridges and structures here. They're going to stand the test of time. Very solid, very firm. 22. 22 is a master number. Peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy, energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. So there's a journey happening here, definitely between these two. Jupiter. Wow, big energy. So Jupiter Sagittarius, which we were really feeling with the number 14 here, which is temperance. Okay, so Sagittarius and Pisces energy with Jupiter. Number 6. So 6 is lovers. Again, being conscious of the choice, the destined path. Big, big energy here. Jupiter is luck, fortune, abundance. So we have the warrior, number 10. Here's more snake energy. Okay, so this could be talking about even a Kundalini awakening, a spiritual awakening, shedding old self. Okay, you guys, let me tap into this person, which I feel is your person, but only you know, and see what's holding up this person now. Okay. This person is accustomed to how they've been living their life, okay? But I feel like there is parts here that are really, really needing to be shed and let go of because it's holding this person back. And so they might be using it as a crutch to this is how they are, or that this is giving them power, you know, to be safe. But it's really coming from a place of a lack mindset that if they let go, or if there's change, or if they are vulnerable or allow themselves to shift here, that they'd be at risk or open to change in some way that could be threatening for them. But this is all about the growth. You know, this is all about the growth. So it's like this self is really stemmed from a fear of being their truest, most authentic self, which would leave them exposed, vulnerable, and having to navigate. So I feel like this person is one that needs control, you know, and I feel like it's because this person doesn't understand their truest value. This person doesn't understand what true empowerment means, you know, because empowerment would be trusting that the universe is going to unfold and people will act the way they act, and we could still be in a state of full empowerment when we're in the here and now and conscious. We're not empowered when we start acting out of trigger responses. This is where we start to feel out of control, or we feel like the other person or the circumstance is getting out of control. It's because we're identifying with this idea that we have any control in that situation. So I feel like this person tries to manipulate situations to go sort of in a certain way for them, and then gets disappointed. You know, gets disappointed. So they could certainly act out of character or act in certain ways to keep this safe illusion they have going on of what they think they are, who they think they are, or the world that they've created. Okay, so they're easily swayed here, I feel, and bullied by their environment. Other people could have influence over this person, their circumstance, their state of being, what they identify with, who they identify with. This is all giving this person a sense of power, a sense of identity, a sense of protection in some way, but it's not really their truest self. But it's creating this life that they have, and this person's not happy. They need to heal this part of self because this isn't their truest self. So this self needs to fall away so that this person can be vulnerable, open, and trust that the divine out there has a bigger plan for them. This is true ascension, being vulnerable and open, not being stuck in the way they are. This gives them a solid foundation to stand on. This is unwavering. Right now, what they think is empowering is actually could be blown over by anything. They're constantly chasing this energy of need for control, which could be dictated by anything and anyone blowing them over. Any circumstance could happen and this person's world would tumble. So it's like trying to keep the stability and the norm going here is very tiring. So when this person has a more of an intelligent way of dealing with, and I'm not saying they're stupid by any means. Okay, this is just a lower level of consciousness. This is like 99% of people in the matrix. So when they're in a higher level of consciousness, the intelligence, to know that it's actually more intelligent for us to align ourselves with the universe. We feel more stable, more empowered, more grounded when we understand how to respond to certain situations from a conscious place. We're more empowered. We feel less empowered when we start to try to cling and attach and create sort of stories as to making this world, the world that we think is safe and secure and stable for us. It's a false sense of stability. It's giving this person this sense of stability that isn't real. So they're being asked to and encouraged to identify this self so that they could face this higher level of awareness and consciousness, so they could still take action in their own world. They're not completely like spiritually bypassing and living in this spiritual realm of just let things happen as they happen. It's like, okay, the universe is unfolding, but now I can come in actively and really be empowered to make decisions from a conscious place that will change and shift the reality that I see. And this is why we talk about, again, the law of attraction here, and how it can change your outcome and your manifestations. Because when we're in true state of consciousness and we could see from an observer's point of view, we now know when to take action precisely, and that lover's path we're seeing, it opens up pathways differently, and we now live in a different destined path that is aligned with a conscious choice, rather than upkeeping some sort of illusion of stability here. Me having to, I don't know, like be in all these different energies in order to upkeep the ball or upkeep the illusion. Meanwhile, if I'm a solid energy, I'm a truest being, and the universe is ever changing in front of me, I have the conscious choice and the position to see when I could take action, from a responsive place that's conscious, and trust that this is the way to live. Trust that the universe is going to unfold in this way, but there could be a lot of fear of an unknown here. Like, I can't let go of this. Then we're need for control. We think we are creating something outside of the universe, and this perpetuates a separate awareness here. We're separate from the universe. The universe is going to do one thing, and I'm going to make sure I do my own thing here to remain in control. This isn't unity consciousness. This isn't a higher level of consciousness. Okay, this is being aware that the universe is going to unfold always. We never know what's going to happen with the universe. Okay, and we trust it, that it's going to unfold as it does, and we work with it, and we become solid in our ability to see it and engage in it and do the dance of the universe and shed the false self that thinks it has control or needs control or has to force an outcome or force people to be in certain ways. This is how this person is going to attain abundance. So this person is stuck in egoic matrix world of whatever it is that's giving them stability, false sense of stability right now, because they feel empowered or in control in some way, and it's really stemmed from them feeling maybe not whole and complete, so they need to keep it together, and this is stemmed from this self-esteem. I don't feel connected to my solid state of being, that I'm whole and complete and I'm worthy of experiencing all things abundant because it's already there and around me. And so I'm perpetuating this idea that I'm separate and that abundance is out there that I got to chase and that I got to maintain or that I got to hang on to. And so this is why this person's stuck. It's like they're hanging on to this abundance that they think they have, you know, at the risk of really knowing that abundance is always there. This is not something they need to manipulate in any way. You know, they just got to see it differently and shed old self. So this person is either transitioning slowly, or this connection is allowing this person to make these changes in their life. But this is something that they have to sort of go through organically here, you know, and there is a journey happening. I feel both people are on a journey. Okay, and this connection is reflecting back to this person this, to know who they truly are, to observe themselves, to really see that their action here is one of a desperate state of filling some sort of lack mindset, that they're not enough, and so they must cling to or be all these things in order to create that in which they think they don't have, rather than just allowing themselves to be in purest state and not have to force, coerce, or do or say anything here, and remain in the dance of the abundance. Because the abundance is always happening. That's the truest state of empowerment. Okay, so they're not seeing this. That's the great truth. That's the authenticity. And then they can act in truth. They can act in truth in their own world, make different decisions, let go of this false sense of stability. Because I feel this person's really stuck in their world. You know, that relationship, that job, or that thing I created that's giving me my thing, but I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this thing, you know, and it's not a happy place to be because I feel disconnected. I don't feel loved when I got to hang on to that partnership or that thing. Why would I? I would feel loved if it comes to me naturally and flows through me. And it's something that I don't need to hang on to or chase or put any sort of false energy, attach any false energy to. It's organic and its purest state. That feels true. And it doesn't feel false. It feels like something I could rely on because it's constantly there. It can't be manipulated by other people, and certain things can't take it away. This person's healing this part, okay? This is spiritual healing. This is emotional healing. This is physical healing. This is a lot of healing here because it's all intertwined here. And trusting the universe, you know, shedding the old self, going through the ego death with the snake, the kundalini. This person could be going through a kundalini here, you know, awakening, or could be in line with having one if this connection is reflecting back to this person, this thing. Because I do feel this person is, once they understand all this, you know, then the shift happens. But I don't think they see it just yet, or if they do, it's like a slow ascension here. They still don't completely trust. They still don't completely see their authenticity. They're still shedding old things here. They still think they're the doer. They have to create an outcome that gives them a sense of power, you know, but it's really creating not the power. It's really creating more of them to chase, more of them to be in an energy that doesn't feel very good. Okay, so I feel like these two people are coming into some sort of balance within themselves in order for them to come into balance with each other. I feel like this person is certainly in a struggle mode with all areas right now because this is heavily in the matrix, okay? Heavily in the matrix here. So yeah, this doesn't mean, because I feel like I have to say, like we could be aware of the matrix, but we might not be integrated in showing the universe that we truly trust and believe that there's a matrix going on, you know, because I have people all the time like, yeah, I could see the corruption in government and in medical and in this and that, and it's like, yeah, they're awakened. No. That doesn't mean they're necessarily awakened. When we're truly awakened and we're living from higher states of consciousness, when we're in this elevated state of consciousness, we have to integrate and embody trusting that we are in dance with the universe. We don't act in this way. You know, we don't cling on to things we've built saying that that's my form of stability. We're still asleep. We're still in the matrix. Okay, but consciousness happens in every single sort of level of progression. So we just need to be aware of where are we? You know, are we still clinging on to some illusion? Yes, this person is, because they still think that the pentacle realm here they have some sort of illusion of control, and they don't. They don't. So if we're clinging on to that, we're perpetuating the matrix. Okay, so if this is you, that's the message for you as well. Okay, and even this person, and with this card, they fall back into matrix. They're being asked to find balance in self. Look, they fall back into matrix. It's easy. It happens to all of us. We start to take time seriously, and when's it going to happen? It's like, well, that's matrix. What do you mean when? It's already happened. It's happening right now. Okay, so this is what I have for you. Pile number 3. I love you so much. I know it's not easy, but this is growth. This is ascension. This is new earth. This is us healing generational wounds, traumas, triggers, egoic shadows that are preventing us from becoming the greatest possible version of self. All right, I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.